Guys, he did it. He accomplished it. He really went there. The space cowboy himself, Dave Filoni, really just went there. Could the AHSOKA show by Dave Filoni truly mend the Star Wars fandom and the Star Wars franchise that we know it today? More on that later. I do truly believe that this is the best Star Wars show to come to Disney Plus so far. And with this crazy episode 4 that we just got, I would not doubt it if Dave Filoni is saving Star Wars single-handedly.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it?
Let's jump right into it. Now we start off this episode with Huyang fixing the ship, and AHSOKA leaves some very somber words for Sabine Wren.
If we can't make the journey to find Ezra, then no one should.
Now this plays a huge role into the episode later with Sabine's choice to follow Baylan and Shin. Now pretty much right after this, AHSOKA and Sabine go back on the ship, and as Huyang is still fixing the ship, he encounters an HK droid that is trying to assassinate them, and they end up in a brawl where Huyang disconnects the moderator to warn AHSOKA and Sabine that there is a threat outside. Now obviously these droids and other fighters are no match for AHSOKA and Sabine, and we also see AHSOKA use some not so Jedi-like moves. Morgan then starts the hyperdrive clock, as then we shoot to Merrick and Shin approaching AHSOKA and Sabine. The four engage in a battle as AHSOKA takes on Merrick and Shin takes on Sabine. In the midst of all this, we see Hera gearing up to go find AHSOKA and Sabine and aid them in finding Ezra and Thrawn. She is approached by a fellow New Republic person, and he tells her that she cannot leave without authorization, to which she responds,
Watch me.
Now this is definitely classic Hera that we see in Rebels, disobeying orders to go save the people that she loves. We see as she leaves that she has her own squadron of X-Wing with her, and in one of those X-Wings pilots Carson Teva, who we see throughout The Mandalorian and who we last saw with Zeb in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now we get a glimpse of just how dangerous this hyperspace mission is, as Baylan tells Morgan that even if her calculations are off just by a little, they will be lost in the void of space forever. And Morgan tells Baylan to have faith, which Baylan responds with,
Faith. I lost that a long time ago.
Now this makes us as the audience wonder what kind of faith he lost, and was it because of the Jedi Order that he lost faith? This part I really enjoy because Sabine uses her Mandalorian heritage, which she is better at than being a Jedi, to attack and be on the offensive in the fight with Shin for the first few moments, until Shin force pushes her, knocking the blasters out of her hand and her helmet off of her head, forcing her to engage in close quarter combat. AHSOKA then baits Merrick by placing her saber over her head, similar to how Anakin did with Dooku in Attack of the Clones. This causes Merrick to start spinning his lightsaber, going for an attack on the torso of AHSOKA, which leads for AHSOKA to have an easy kill. This is when it is revealed to us who Merrick is, and of course it is just smoke, like the leak said. However, it is green smoke, which is Night Sister magic like we see in the Clone Wars, and most recently with Morgan Elsbeth. This is also very similar to how Savage Opress was powered up in the Clone Wars. This makes me wonder if this was a Night Brother within the suit, but I guess we will never know. Now as AHSOKA defeats Merrick, Sabine tells her that she has got the fight with Shin, telling AHSOKA to just go ahead for the map. Morgan Elsbeth then boards the Eye of Sion, leaving Baylan behind to guard the post. AHSOKA finally approaches Baylan as they interact with some really cool and very interesting dialogue.
Anakin spoke highly of you. Everyone in the Order knew Anakin Skywalker. Few would live to see what he became. Surely that must leave a mark. Is that why you walked away? Abandoned him? The only reason I'm here is to secure the future.
And you find starting another war necessary?
One must destroy in order to create.
The two engage in battle. And I gotta be honest, I didn't really care for this fight at first, but when I rewatched it, I realized how samurai-esque this fight is and how very intricately they move in order to study the other's moves. I also really enjoy how Baylan feels like a really heavy boss, very similar to Vader, and how that one swing is like extremely powerful compared to like a normal swing of AHSOKA's. AHSOKA ends up getting an upper hand on Baylan as she goes to reach for the star map. Now the star map gets burned on her hand, and I believe that this might be like similar to Indiana Jones, how the map gets burned into his hand. We cut back to seeing Sabine and Shin go at it in their fight as Shin gets the upper hand hand, and Sabine tricks her by trying to use the Force on her. This makes Shin claim that she has no power, as then Sabine uses her wrist rockets to deflect the saber out of Shin's hand. Shin uses a smoke grenade to disappear on Sabine and heads back to her master, Baylan. Now when Ahsoka pulls the star map out of cycle, this causes it to disrupt the downloading of the hyperdrive coordinates that Morgan needs. This makes Baylan very angry as he goes pretty much all out on Ahsoka, pushing her to the edge of the cliff. Shin shows up to the same place that Baylan and Ahsoka are, and Baylan instructs her to grab the star map. And Ahsoka, thinking irrationally at the time, thinks that Shin has killed Sabine, which leads Ahsoka to using more dark side force powers, force choking Shin, then throwing her against a pillar, knocking her unconscious. Sabine finally catches up and holds the star map at gunpoint. This causes Baylan to throw Ahsoka off of the cliff into the waters below. Sabine starts shooting at Baylan as she fears Ahsoka is dead, and Baylan perfectly blocks each and every single blaster bolt that comes his way. He then takes a non-aggressive form of approach to getting Sabine to hand him the star map, telling her that she could reunite with Ezra and that he will promise that. Sabine, having about no other choice, gives into this and hands Baylan the star map. Hera and her crew of X-Wing fighters show up to the destination. Huyang informs them of the Eye of Sion and tells them to head straight for that and try to take it down. However, the team get there too late as Morgan blasts off into a beautiful hyperspace jump. And I know, we've seen hyperspace so many times in Star Wars, but this one was done so beautifully, and just the magnitude of how big the hyperspace jump was so cool, and how it knocks Hera and the X-Wing fighters into each other, basically killing a few of the X-Wing pilots, leaving only a couple alive, as well as Hera and Jason. Jason almost says the famous lines of, "I have a bad feeling about this," which is a nod to almost every single Star Wars movie. Now this entire episode up to this point has been really crazy, and the ending is a lot crazier, to say the least. The camera pans over the Sea of Cetos as it then slowly fades into the world between worlds, where we see Ahsoka. Guys, oh my gosh, this is Hayden Christensen reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker for the first time, well, since the Kenobi series, but this is the first time in chronological order that we've seen him since Return of the Jedi as a Force ghost. Now, do I believe that this is actually Anakin? No, I actually have a theory that this is the son of Mortis coming to Ahsoka as Anakin, because Ahsoka has the essence of the daughter within her, but more on that in another video. Anyways, we end this episode off hearing the Darth Vader theme, also known as the Imperial March. Now, I have no idea what this could mean. It could play into my theory that the son is actually posing as Anakin here, but I'm not so sure. Let me know what you guys thought about all of this episode. I personally believe it was a 10 out of 10 episode. Perfect. I really don't know how it could have been better. I've seen some comments on that Anakin could look a little bit better, but I also believe that that is just due to the sun shape-shifting into Anakin, and that's why he looks a bit off, and also why he would still have his robotic hand, and why his lightsaber is directly a look-alike from his episode 3 saber, but the top half of the hilt is dark. It is not Darth Vader's lightsaber. If you really look closely, it has the exact same shape as Anakin's from episode 3. But anyways, more on that in another video, like I said. Guys, I really loved this episode, and let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. As always, Jesus loves you, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you soon, and may the Force be with you.